Hello, I'm a guy. You may remember me from going into debt instead of getting a lot of money in Quibble Race yesterday, but I'm back today to play Mooncat for you.
And hi everyone, my name is Ilovemooncat. I hold the record in this game, and I'm very excited to be here because Mooncat is really special.
Yeah, Mooncat is easily my favorite game in the collection, like by a long way, and I'm really excited to show it off. It's a great run. To quickly explain what we're going to be doing, the cherry, there's three different endings to the game. We're going to be getting an egg in each of them, three eggs, and that will give us the cherry. On one of those, we are going to be taking a bunch of warps to take us to little areas you wouldn't see normally in the run. But yeah, Ilovemooncat, would you like to count us down and get us started on the run?
Okay, I can do a countdown. We'll get started in three, two, one, go. So, kind of the main gimmick of Mooncat, like this is the thing about Mooncat is that this is a platformer with just two buttons, and like most platformers, like you think of two buttons and you think, okay, you get a jump button and a dash button, but no, there are just two buttons on the controller. You can move left or you can move right. Of course, you'll see a guy here doing a lot more than that because if you combine the buttons in certain ways, you can get all sorts of fun movement tech. The most important of which being the dash, which will make Mooncat move significantly faster than you might in a casual playthrough. And we're going to see a guy try to get as many dashes in as possible and also try to stay low to the ground because running is faster than being in the air. And also see a guy get a bounce off the spider here to take our first warp. These warps are hidden throughout the game. First one is the gift. And you need a few warps to get to the secret endings in this game, which will give you two of the eggs. But this warp in particular is just for speed because you end up skipping 5 rooms in the main path to do 2 rooms with these little mushroom guys that jump whenever you jump.
Oh, first
Really-
try.
Oh wow, that's incredible. And okay, so I don't think we'll see those guys again. But now we're on to this big vertical room here. Using these yellow mushrooms to bounce up is much faster than going the other way. So you're going to see a guy hit all these and then try to get past this enemy cycle here. And then
Yeah, we're
wait
going
for
to go
these.
right in behind these guys.
Oh, yeah.
You, you can go in front of them, but we're not going to. I'm going to just do a quick jump to get underneath that bird, and I'm going to make sure I'm not hitting that eyeball. I don't usually, but... And we're going to wait here for just a second so that we can make this big jump over the top. That's going to save us a little bit of time. We would otherwise have to bounce off those eyeballs there before we make it into a very nice small room, which we're going to just skip all of.
Yep, just get a nice little bounce there. And then a guy's also going to just skip that peppermint cycle. And now we're coming up on, I believe, this is the warp we're going to take here. Oh, by the way, there's just these hidden bounce pads here. You can get over that pit, in case you weren't aware. Then A guy's going to activate a few more secrets here, which is going to take us to the red egg path. Yeah, on this hidden warp.
Yeah, so this is our first water level in the run. The water controls are you can either move up and to the left or up and to the right. Here we want to move up the room anyway, so we don't care too much, but we do have to be careful of these spikes here because they can kill you. And oh no, I died. But you can just actually take a warp during the death animation. That doesn't save any time at all. I just find it a little bit easier and safer, and it is really funny. Here, this is the easiest boss in the run by a long shot, because we can just get him in this corner, and oh dear, I've missed the stun lock there. Normally you can just do the whole run in that stun lock, whole boss in that stun lock, but oh dear!
Ouch.
Unfortunately, I had committed to that jump by the time the bunny hit me, so here we go. We'll have another go at stun locking the boss. So yeah, just basically, as soon as we land on this platform above the boss, we're gonna do a ground pound, and that should manage to make sure that he doesn't do anything as long as I don't accidentally move out of the way too far. And now we're going to move on to the second egg. We're going to go back through the game. This is a great time for any announcements or donations, Matt, because the first few rooms are exactly the same.
Did somebody say rail heist?
I'm not dead. I'm here. I'm actually, I've exploded. No, I was just saying we had $25 from Callow Division, who did not include a message, but thank you for that donation. And we also had $1 from Keeney, who said Rail Heist mentioned, and I was just saying that I understand the power that I wield by being able to mention Rail Heist, but I'm not going to abuse that. I'm going to be respectful and going to let it flow as it may. I'm not going to abuse that for money, but maybe others will choose to do so if you want to sneak in a couple Rail Heist mentions.
Did someone mention Rail Heist? Okay, so here's the first room that we're going to be seeing that is completely new. That spear throwing enemy, you never have to see that to beat the game. It's not in any of the main levels. Here, we could have actually gone faster at the start of the room, but if we did, an eyeball would have spawned in front of us in that tunnel, and we'd have to wait for it. So it's actually faster to go a little bit slower and not get that spawn. And then we're just going to jump all the way out into this warp. This is going to take us to another water level. These can be pretty slow. This one in particular is quite boring, but we do have to make sure, because we can only move to the right, if we also move up, we have to be careful about where our height is so that we can continue moving to the right as much as possible without hitting spikes or a fish. But other than that, it is very straightforward. Just going to go through these enemies and their projectiles. And that's going to take us to a room which is basically just going to be taking our next warp. So I'm going to kill this enemy, jump over this egg trigger, and go straight into another water room. Those two fish at the top there are really annoying to get past. You can get past them quicker, but that cycle is extremely hard to make, and because water movement is a bit inconsistent and there's no like solid setups like there are on the ground, I'm not going to attempt that in the marathon setting, even though it would be faster if I managed it. Instead, we're just going to take this quite nice cycle here. We're going to wait for that fish. No, I think I might have slowed down too much to take the cycle I want here, so I'm just going to wait. Because if I die on this room, it is by far the biggest time loss possible in the run, I believe, for a single death, because that room is long.
Well, you got through that quite nice. And now we're back at this bird room here, and there's a nice little jump a guy's going to do up here where you can abuse the fact that slides don't care about gravity to jump in midair and get a little bit more out of your jumps. And yeah, we're going to be back at this eyeball room. We're going to do this bounce again, but almost immediately a guy's going to take a nice little route here. That's right.
One of the hardest warps in the game to find.
Yeah, it's you can go above the ceiling on any level in the game, and the devs decided to hide a warp there. And that's going to take us to my favorite room in the game, Gray Spider Room. It's got the gray spider. Shoutouts to gray spider. It's like the regular spider, but it moves twice as fast. And there's quite a lot of tricky platforming in here, and also these ghosts that'll pop up. So, oh, that was pretty cool. So yeah, you guys just gonna try to get across here, and then this cycle's pretty tricky, I think, but yeah, he's got that down.
Nice.
And now, yeah, we're headed back to the main path.
Here, the game wants us to bounce off a number of these eyeballs to get through the room, but again, we can just abuse the dash to buffer jumps and not have to do that at all. And those ghosts just nicely got out of our way, and we can just make a quick jump over that one. This is the first castle section we're going to be seeing in the run, and it starts off quite slow.
Yeah, shoutouts to this elevator here. Actually, on the way down there, there's a frame-perfect jump you can do to skip waiting for half a cycle. It's just kind of like ridiculous that it's even in the game. Like it just lines up. It only lines up because like it starts on a specific frame. It's very strange. And then it's even more strange are these fireball enemies that are actually RNG. This is like one of the only bits of RNG in Mooncat where they could just fire anytime and they can fire anywhere along their path. And usually it's not a big deal. That's unfortunate. Jumped a little too low there.
Yeah, just jump was too small, unfortunately.
Yeah, there are 3 different jump heights in this game, and it's always faster to take like the lowest one that can still clear the gap. But if you go like one too low, it's like a death and loses a ton of time. So definitely something you gotta be careful about. That's a pretty mean fireball, but I got past this fine. And now we got another vertical room here with some bounces that can't really speed up. It's gonna take it nice and slow, and then get that bounce. And
that's the
now
only skip you can really do in the room.
Pretty much. Now we're coming up on the boss here, the guy who walks back and forth. AI is going to do pretty much the same trick as with the bunny boss, except you don't have platforms to line yourself up, so you pretty much have to time it pretty close. It's like you get like a 3 or 4 frame window to ground pound. If you ground pound too late, then the boss becomes active before you actually ground pound. If you ground pound too early, you'll hit the ground and not actually get to hit the boss. So it's a pretty tight quick kill here, and there aren't really any other better options other than just like fighting the boss normally, which takes way longer to do.
Hey, nice. I was having a bit of trouble with that in practice before, so I was a bit worried, but that's a pretty solid time to get the quick kill. And Matt, once again, we're going to be going through the first 3 rooms, so if there's anything else you wanted to add.
I'm not muted this time. I'm proud of that, actually. I had a question for Ilovemooncat, and this is purely Mooncat related, and it's just from me as an observer. I was going through the leaderboards recently, and a guy mentioned that the spear throwing enemies don't usually show up, but I saw them in a run that you did. One of the runs. I don't know if it was the cherry run or one of them. I had not seen that room before, but you used it in a posted speedrun.
That's because it's faster.
I've never seen anyone use that room before.
Yeah, it's actually I'm pretty sure that the green egg route in my cherry run is like the official green egg record, but I didn't want to submit it because it doesn't use the frame perfect elevator trick I was mentioning earlier.
No.
Oh no.
But there is actually there's a different route. The gray spider room, which you saw in this run. If you do the gray spider room perfectly and the elevator,
Okay,
trick,
there we go.
We
got the glitch.
Oh, yeah.
I just fell to that platform.
Yep, moving platforms don't exist.
The only interesting thing that could happen in that entire room, and I haven't got that in practice for like the entirety of the week leading up to this, so congratulations. Okay, here we go. Made it through the room this time. Here we've got a pretty hard trick coming up in the next room. I haven't actually ever done this one without taking at least 1 death. So it is a bit tough. We're going to bounce off this guy. And, oh no, I died! That is actually the only time-saving death warp in the run, but it is very cool.
That was a very cool death warp. And now we're going to come up on one of my favorite rooms in this game. Yellow Egg's just got a lot of cool stuff. It's just got the wizard here who will shoot fireballs on 2 different tiles. And this is really tough casually because you're not really moving very fast. But the faster you're moving, it's actually easier to get past these. So there's lots of cool different routes you can take in the speedrun. And we're going to come up on our last water room in the game. These like horizontal water rooms I think are a bit more interesting because it's not just about mashing as fast as possible because you don't want to hit the ceiling or the spikes or like get stuck in a corner. So you're going to see a guy try to manage his height while also preserving his speed. Try to get through that shuriken cycle. Very nice.
Alright, here we go. We're going to come up on another pretty difficult trick at the start of this room. We're going to use these dashes to get underneath that eyeball before it comes down, so we don't have to wait for it. Then I'm going to make a ground pound on that tiny little ledge to get the purple guy out of the way. These guys are annoying, and the most annoying one is coming up right here. That guy up there. Okay, I'm gonna nope out of that because he was too close to the edge, and I was probably going to hit him if I committed to bouncing up there. Here, we're just going to juggle this eyeball to get to the top and take the final warp towards the yellow egg and the final castle section. But first, we have a little breather where absolutely nothing happens for a little bit. We just have to jump over these pits, which is as straightforward as it looks.
I love this room. I just love that this room exists.
It's kind of fun. But here we go, castle time.
Yep, so we're in the Yellow Egg Castle now, and it starts off with this complete nightmare of a room. You can see 4 RNG spiders right away, and then there's peppermints here that you can actually hit a super tight cycle on. There are like 2 variations of it, but it only works if you get good RNG. So you guys just gonna be playing it safe because it's just it's not gonna happen. It's too random. It's just RNG and Mooncat. You hate to see it. Then for this room, you guys gonna skip as many bounce pads as possible because it's slow to be bouncing.
Clean.
That's very nice. And yeah, now we're coming up on the yellow egg boss. We got the ghost here, the classic that splits into 2 every time you hit it. And A guy's just gonna be chilling out on this mushroom here to try to just farm kills whenever it gets closer.
Oh
Some
dear,
weird stuff.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That was just my bad. That was not the game. But the collision can be awful on this fight.
That's true. Whenever you have 2 ghosts that are overlapping, the game will choose one to prioritize, and sometimes it's the one that's already dead that you're not trying to hit, so then you'll just get hit by the one that is actually a threat. But yeah, it looks like you guys got it down here, and as soon as the end screen comes up, that's going to be time.
Fade to black will be time. That is time now.
That was a sub 1630.
Oh wow, that is pretty good. Yeah, so that's Mooncat. I personally love that game. I think it's weird, it's cool, it's so much fun to feel like you know nothing and learn it all over again. And then once you learn it all over again, you realize, actually, it's just extremely fun to play. Like, the movement in the game is super, super fun. And I love it. So yeah, shout out to Eric for making and directing that game. It's amazing. Shout outs to Ilovemooncat, who's the world record holder on like every category. His runs are absolutely insane. If you want to see even more insane Mooncat gameplay, go and watch those because they are incredible.
Thank you.
Thanks. Anything from you, Ilovemooncat?
Not really. I guess just check out Mooncat. It's a pretty cool game. It's a very fun and accessible speedrun.
Yeah, and there's only 2 buttons, so there's much less to deal with, and it's very short if you're doing just the gold speedrun, so it's really easy to get into, and it's really fun as well.
Yeah. Someone mentioned in the chat that this game was originally a Game Jam game. We're running that game today. You will get to see it.
We are.
Later today. It is a really quick game. It's under like 2 minutes long, but you'll get to see that original Game Jam game in this marathon. Canvas is playing it. It's called And the Mooncats. It's only one route. There's no fancy warps or anything, but it evolved into this beautiful, weird thing that we have in front of us, and it was a real pleasure to watch you run it. Thank you, guy.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey everybody, stay tuned. We got a co-op run coming up next. Alphazar's hat. We're gonna get that set up and have you in the world of the rabbit and the pigeon any minute now. Stay tuned. Be right back.